Hey everybody, this is going to be a plan with me slash setup video. As you can see, I've got something a little bit different here. This is going to be the setup video and my first plan with me in my new Jibun Techo A5 Slim Biz version. I am going to continue doing the plan with me's and the Hobonichi cousin because I still have some reviews to do. However, I am starting to move into this more, and so I was just wanting to take a kind of a break from the Hobonichi for a week and do a plan with me in this. So first of all, I have this in a Kokuyo systemic cover. This is this year's version in gray, so it's got this faux leather bit at the top and then like a real tough canvas material. This is stiffened with something, I don't know what. It does have an elastic closure, and I really like this because it's not a TN, it's not a traveler's notebook. However, it does have bookmarks in here, and they've secured it in these sort of grommet areas. I'm sorry if you heard my daughter making noise in the background. Just, I'm doing my best to ignore her. And so you can put charms on it, just like a traveler's notebook, which I thought was super fun. So I've just added this charm here. And so this is the inside cover for those of you that don't know what the systemic cover looks like. Let me zoom out a little bit so I can make sure it's in frame. So it's got this flap here that you can set a book in, which is where I'm losing my highlighting stickers here. Which is, I just have the front cover of my Jibun in there. Now it will not fit with the Jibun vinyl cover that comes with this. It won't fit in here, so I had to take it off and just have it in itself. And I will go ahead and take that out because I'm going to take it out to work on it anyway. And we'll go over that in a second. It does have those bookmarks that I mentioned from the other side right here. They're very dark gray, very pretty. I just have a die cut and some highlighting strips right here. This is the notebook that comes with this system. It is the Mio paper, so it's very, very smooth. And this does also come out. It just slides right in, and this has a bookmark with it. It slides right in. I'm not going to take it out. And I just keep back here 2 stencils that I have made for my Jibun since I can't find any stencils that fit the grid. I made my own, and I will pull those out because I will use them. And then there's a whole other back pocket here that you can slide another notebook. Now this is the systemic cover, so they do make things that fit this specifically, various planners and notebooks and things like that. However, the Jibun fits it perfectly. It's made by the same company. So I just have my son's lesson planner in here that I've created for his school year starting in August. So I just have a weekly lesson planner, attendance records, and the back page that you can't see because it's slid in is just a list of our curriculum that we're going to be using. So, and this is just to protect I put his name on here. So there's that, and then there is on the back cover, there is a pen loop, and it is generous. It fits my Coletto 4-in-1 quite well. So, and then I also have the pencil board for the A5 Slim. So that is what I am currently carrying it in. I do plan on getting a Speckled Fawns cover in Rustic Kodiak because I'm an addict and that's what we do. But for now, it's in that cover. This does come with 2 just glued in bookmarks right there. And I have just tied little knots in the bottom and added, these are just a couple of pearl jewelry things that I have that I just don't wear very much. So a little key to my heart charm with a white pearl, and then a paw print with a black pearl to remind me of my dog that has crossed the Rainbow Bridge a few years ago now, but he was my fur baby, my precious one. So I do what I can to remember him. And then we will get started. These it's the same stencil, just one is cardstock and one is laminated, a laminating pouch. So I don't know if you can see, it's probably be easier to see it on this one. These are the same thing. So I have square check boxes, circle check boxes, a little arrow, half-hour lines, just a single line, a couple of flags, a hexagon, and then 1 hour, hour and a half, 2 hour, and 3 hour, both rectangle and rounded rectangle spaces. So I just got tired of not being able to find stencils that fit. The Hobonichi stencil does not fit the grid. The grid in this is 3 millimeters, and in the Hobonichi cousin, it is 3.55 millimeters. So it is a pretty significant difference when it comes to stencils. So now we'll just get into it. This is just going to be an overview of how I set this up, and then we will work on this week. And I am not using sticker kits in this. At least not right now. And I will explain why shortly. But this is just the front page. This is from the Farmhouse Create 365 kit. And these butterflies are just some washi, just some page flags that I have. First page, personal information. And the first thing that I'm going to show you how I have set up is I'm using this page to track some personal health things, cycle, and my medications that I take for anxiety. And this is just the year overview, and I find it very helpful to be able to see at a glance what's going on for the year. So that's pretty much all I'm using this page for. I'm not tracking holidays or anniversaries or anything like that on this one, as I did in my cousin. So that's a little bit different. And then there are various and sundry other pages here that aren't really set up for anything. This recommendation list I'm actually using, I'm still on the hunt for the perfect planner. I really like this planner, and it is much more functional for me than the cousin is. However, it's still not perfect. So I am keeping track of recommendations and information that I find for various planners to try as I can find them, you know, used or that sort of thing to kind of see if they'll work for me. So there's a wonderful Japanese planner group on Facebook that I'm a part of that I will link below, and this is where I'm getting all of these recommendations from. I'm not really tracking books or movies, partly because I very rarely go see movies in the theater, and partly because I read excessively. I have a Kindle Unlimited subscription, and I read several hundred books per year. So for me, keeping track of them on paper when I can just go into my Kindle Unlimited account and look at what I've read is sort of dual purpose, or not dual purpose, repeating what I'm doing. So I also have, now I really like this tracker. At first I did not think I would like doing a month at a view tracker. I've always had my trackers on my weekly, as you've seen in previous Plan With Me's. However, I have decided I really like this. Partly because I can see a bigger trend, and partly for this down here. Now what I'm tracking, this is just some personal health stuff for me and my family, thus the post-it note. But what I'm tracking down here is my sleep and my mood, and I'm tracking it in the same area so that I can see how they correspond, because for me specifically with my anxiety, I have noticed that lack of sleep breeds issues with my anxiety. So this is a really great way for me to see at a glance over the course of a month how they correspond and what I need to do differently. So I keep my little red bookmark right there, and that is what I'm tracking there. And the rest of this is just monthlies from the beginning of the year. And I did go ahead and sort of play around with some washi at the bottom. A blank month. There's a blank month. It's got check boxes across the bottom. And I really like these pre-done check boxes. This is extremely functional. I wasn't sure if I was going to like it or not, but I actually really do. It just saves me the time of having to draw check boxes. So I discovered that regular, I believe this is 15 millimeter washi, fits almost perfectly across the bottom. Okay, sorry about that. Small interruption. My kids are awake, so this might stop and start quite a bit. So I was just sort of playing around with some washi that I have, seeing how I might want to do this. The grid space is off enough, and this is an A5 Slim rather than an A5. So let me show you what this looks like. This is the Hobonichi. I should have done this first. So it is a good, probably 3/4 of an inch slimmer than the Hobonichi, which means pretty much, oops, sorry, didn't mean to wiggle ya. It means pretty much all of the sticker kits that I have, especially for the monthly. The weekly is a little bit easier to work with, but the monthlies just really don't fit at all. So I was just sort of experimenting with whether or not I even wanted to decorate my month. Again, just playing with some different washi here, and this is pretty much the only place you can put washi. So, and then I'll come to this month, and sorry, this I'm keeping my bills on the side of the week. That's the Post-it notes, you know, personal information. And I actually think I'm going to be doing this, just a strip of washi all the way across the bottom rather than doing it stopping here and like this. This kind of chops it up too much. Not a fan. This I really like. These are just washi strips. This is washi. And so what I've done is just listed my bills out, and then put the date of the month that they're due. And I toyed with it. This month I did it this way, and June, which I will not show you because all of my bills are out and it would be too much to cover them all, I actually wrote the bills on the day of the month that they were due. And while I really like the functionality of being able to just look and say, okay, we get paid on this day, so these are the bills that I have to pay out of that paycheck, it clutters up the view quite a lot. And I really like how nice and neat and tidy this side looks, and being able to check off when they're paid. So I think it's a small price to pay having to write the day that they're due. A lot of our bills are not due on a set day. I mean, some of them are, but a lot of our bills, like utilities, roll. They're like on a 28 or 30-day schedule rather than like a four-week schedule rather than a calendar month. So they're on different days of the month every month anyway. So it's a small price to pay to have to write a few numbers on the side over here to keep this cleaner. I know that sounds really weird, but I like the nice, sleek, clean look. So, oh, it also has this nifty little mood tracker, which it has on the weekly view right here. But you can go back in and take that information and kind of see at a glance. So you can go in and mark the moods over the course of the month if you want to. I'm doing that here. I'm not really seeing a benefit for it versus the weekly, so I think I'll just keep doing it on the weekly and let that be. But it's there if that's something that you want to track. Alternately, I suppose I could track my kids on here and myself on the weekly or vice versa. So there, you know, there's that. As I said, the way I've laid out my bills in June, I'm not going to show you June just because I would have to have like a million little tiny pieces of paper covering up. I will show you, however, some of the layouts that I played with. Now, this is just me playing with what a layout might look like. I saw, as I mentioned in my other video, Sylvia from Write Your Life, her YouTube channel, she does her Jibun like this, and I thought it was genius. So I've played vertically versus horizontally. This is just me measuring the grid, some of my settings that I was messing with trying to make my stencil. Oh yes, I was going to point out the Planner Kate A5 monthly, I believe they're called the monthly labels. It's S778, and they are still up on her shop. It's something she carries. Fit perfectly in a 1 hour time slot. And Ellie Beth Designs UK, her appointment labels and her, I believe these are just plain boxes. I can't remember what she's labeled these as. But they're designed for the A5 and they fit relatively well. There's a little bit of a gap, but that actually works out okay, especially if you use the hours. I don't, so it's not as big of a deal for me, but it fits very nicely. The other stickers that I have that are designed for the cousin, these columns are narrower than the cousin by about 1/8 of an inch. So there is overhang or you have to trim. But these fit perfectly. So Planner Kate's A5 stickers and Ellie Beth Designs A5 stickers fit wonderfully. So I was going to point that out. Just playing with some different washi. I have this adorable weather washi roll that's got all different, and it's already perforated, so all you have to do is find, you know, the one that you want, and then it tears off. Is that not genius? I love it. And it fits very nicely in there. These are just my stencil lines that I was playing with, the different flags and everything. Playing with using washi as a cover-up. More playing with stencils. Trying to get the stencil design that I was working on down to work for me. And then I decided to go ahead and give a sticker kit a try. And it actually worked relatively well. I was surprised. I did have to trim the top and the bottom washi. It overhung quite a bit. As you imagine, this was designed to fit the cousin, which, as you saw, was a good 1/2 inch to 3/4 of an inch wider. So, of course, there was going to be overhang. But other than that, everything fit really well. This flag fits amazingly well right here. I did have to trim the sides off of the boxes, small boxes. The bigger boxes are actually narrower than the small boxes are in, this is a Crafts by Dorelia kit. Sorry, I didn't say that. These are actually a little bit smaller because they're made to fit between the time covers. So those fit really well. So really the only thing I had to trim were the boxes. And I think if you get the full kit with the trackers and everything on the second page, you would have to trim those if you want to use them in the center. I think they would still fit fine over here. So that actually fits fairly well. All of the other Hobonichi Cousin kits that I have would require some pretty extensive trimming on everything to fit. So there's that. Obviously the printables not, because I can just size those to whatever width I need, but the already printed kits that I have, and I have a few, these are full, are not going to fit, which is really sad. But I discovered this is such a thin book, and the paper is very similar to Tomoe River paper weight. It's a little heavier, but not horribly so, but I really don't like feeling the lumps of the stickers on the other side of the page. So I don't think I'm going to be using very many stickers for this. This is, again, just me playing, instead of with highlighting, playing with colored pens, and I don't like it as much, so I think I'm going to stick with the highlighter. And again, playing with my stencils, seeing how everything fits. I ended up making it a little bit more narrow than I had on the other one because I felt like with the circles, it was getting really kind of hard to see the edges, if that makes sense. So I narrowed it just a bit, and I like it a lot better. So this is this week blank. I'm not going to show you a previous week because personal information. I am tracking a lot more personal information on my weekly view than I did in my cousin, and I really like that I can do that. Oh, what did I spill on here? I got something on here. Coffee, I think. Yay! So you're not going to see me putting down a whole lot of personal information, but I will show you how I set the sort of structure up, if I can find all of my tools here, and what we're going to use. So I'm going to use my Hobonichi stencil just because it's a little stiffer. These fit for this, but to use an edge, it's still, I mean, obviously this is plastic, so. And then I have my highlighters and my new favorite pen. This is the Foray Advanced Ink Needlepoint 0.7 millimeter pen. These are at Office Depot and they're really cheap, and oh my gosh, they write so smoothly anyway, and then you add that to the Mio paper, which is like satin. It's so slick, and oh my goodness, love this combination. So what I'm gonna do is each day it's got this little section at the top for weather. I'm just gonna leave that. I'm not gonna highlight anything on there. And then I'm using this section from 0 to 7 as appointments, events, things that are date sensitive, that sort of thing. And then the next bit that I'm using is from 7 to 9. I am making that my social media area. I'm not using this as a schedule. I'm using this more as sections. And it is so conveniently sectioned off anyway that this is actually really easy to do. This is a friction highlighter. And I actually really like it. A couple of the colors are not very vivid at all. This is one of them. That is just really not vivid. But it was such a pretty... See how pale that is? But it's such a pretty color that I'm using it anyway, and I don't really care. I really like this sort of pale, minty, greenish, bluish sort of whatever this is. This is my household tasks section. So cleaning, anything that needs to be done around the house or the cars, that sort of thing. I do try to split up all of my major cleaning throughout the week rather than having one cleaning day because children. It's really hard for me to take an entire day and just clean because I have them every day, obviously. Then next I have this. This is an extremely bright blue. And I am taking this next section as just general to-do tasks for myself for that day. And these I sort of populate the night before, the day before, the day of. This isn't something that's scheduling per se, so much as it is like almost a brain dump situation where it's like, oh yeah, I need to do this tomorrow. Or, oh, I need to get this done. Or, hey, I've really been putting this off. I need to think about this. Not date sensitive, date specific. These migrate from day to day quite a lot. But just as a way for me to keep track during the day of what I need to do. And you'll notice I'm not doing any of this on Sunday. That's because Sunday I keep for church and family. I try not to schedule social media or cleaning or general to-dos for that day. I try to leave it open as a day of rest, and then I will use a bill tracker down here. I have decided this is going to be sort of memory keeping for me at the end of the day to just summarize my day in a sentence or two, or if there's something funny that happened that day with the kids, or something, you know, bad that happened with me, whatever. Almost like journaling, but very, very short, and with the knowledge that if I end up having a day with a lot of to-dos that I need to write down, I can absolutely overflow into that area without it being a big deal. If I have room at the end of the day, I write a note, a little summary. If I don't, no big deal. And I really like doing it that way. So I don't highlight that with anything. I don't know if you can see, the dark numbers are for when the sun is down. In Japan, obviously. It's similar here this time of year. Not exact, but it's supposed to show sunrise and sunset. So over the weeks, this number changed. Like here, it's dipping into the 19. Way over here, the sun's going to set way at 5 o'clock as we get into winter. So the darkness changes. So I just kind of ignore where it's dark for now. I am using, what am I doing? I forget. Yes. I am using, this is a mild liner, and it's a really bright pink. And I hate pink. It's actually my least favorite color in the world, closely followed by yellow. So this is my exercise section. Because isn't that what you do? You mark the things that you dislike with the colors that you dislike. At least that's what I do. And again, you'll see me not marking anything on Sunday. I sometimes do exercise on Sunday, but I don't make it a part of my plan. Just because, it's Sunday. And then down here is sort of personal / health, and I'm using purple because that is my second favorite color in the world after blue. And honestly, the only reason this is purple instead of blue is that this is a bigger section and I want to see more blue in my planner. Again, because it's my favorite color. Do you guys do that? Do you color code? And if you do you tend to do colors that you like with things that you enjoy? Oops, sorry. I keep knocking into my framework here. I will, you know what, here's what I'm gonna do right here. I'm gonna show you, I'm gonna take a picture right now of my filming setup. And I'm gonna stick that in the video right here. So you can see what I'm dealing with. I keep talking about doing that and I haven't done it yet, so there we go. So this is me, my health, food tracking, weight tracking, and I will do that on Sunday because that's important. And I do keep track of my weight daily. I am a little over, oh no, right at 18 months, a little under actually, next month. I will be 18 months post bariatric surgery. And one thing that they tell us for the rest of our lives is that meal tracking, food tracking is extremely important for us to stay aware and alert of what we are putting in our bodies after such a surgery. So that is what I do. Oh, yes, must finish this. And then last but not least, I am going to use this section here as a bill tracker. So that is that. What I will do is write in my weight, sort of like this. And then this section, if this is pretty much only if it's a frowny face. If it's normal or happy, I usually just leave this blank, but if it's a frowny face, I put a little note as to why. Am I feeling ill? Am I feeling down? Am I feeling anxious? You know, like, why did I put a frowny face? And then I put my weight here every morning and then track breakfast, lunch, and dinner. So this is, oh, wait. I want my little flag. I like this little flag. Shadow. There we go. Pay bills. And then I will list out whatever bills we have this week. And I think I'm going to do circles this time for my checklist. I have circles and I have squares that I made on this. Just for kicks and giggles. All right, so there we go. Whatever bills I have, I'll write out that week and check off when I have paid them. So this is the bare bones of what this setup looks like for me. I'm not going to show you completed week because, like I said, lots of personal information all in it. I will show you, I don't think I have a full week laid out, just like a test week, but I do have, I showed it in the other video. It's most of a week. But it gives you an idea. Mine ends up being completely full. really like how neat and tidy and functional, and I just colored all over my page. All right, so this is what a layout is going to look for me in this, and as you can see, I really love how functional it looks. I'm not a fan of the circles. I wish we could get rid of the circles. But I love everything else about this planner. It's very functional for me. And I did make a tiny tab. There are not many grid pages. There's just a few grid pages back here, but I did go ahead and mark them with a tiny tab that says notes. I don't know if you can see that. Yeah, there we go. Notes. So, this is basically all I do. I do have a few things that I have to do. I have nursery this week. And school's officially out, so I don't have co-op, I don't have gymnastics. That's all I have to actually schedule. And then what I'll do is I try to post something on YouTube on Wednesdays and on Saturdays. It's not perfect by any stretch of the imagination, but I try. And I try to post on Instagram a few times a week too. I will put a link to my Instagram in the box below. It is just the same as this channel, Lone Star Planner Girl. So feel free to check that out. I try to post reviews and that sort of thing, hacks on Wednesdays, and I try to post the Plan with Maze on Saturdays for the coming week. So what I will do then as the week goes in and I film, if I decide, okay, I need to edit on Thursday, that sort of thing, I can. I'll fill this section in as the week goes on, and the same thing for cleaning. Okay, where was I? Oh yeah, I'll fill this in as the week goes in, and I find that I need to edit or upload or do whatever. The Instagram is more for me to remind myself to take a picture, because I don't think about Instagram all that much. I do my personal Instagram because it's mostly pictures of my kids for the grandparents to see, but for my public Instagram, I don't really think about it all that much. I'm trying to get better. It's Thursday, the week previous to this right now. It is what is today? I don't even know. The 30th. Yes, the 30th. So on Sunday, I will sit down and kind of fill in my cleaning plans for the week. And then these, like I said, I fill out the day before or the day of. This is journaling at the end of the day. Exercise, whatever I do for the week. And meal tracking. So a lot of this fills in as the week goes on, rather than being pre-planned out. Since obviously I don't use this scheduling. So this is kind of how it's working for me, and it is so incredibly functional, and there's nothing more satisfying at the end of the week than seeing a full week just completely filled in with everything that I got accomplished. So this is how it's all working, and then I slide it into here like so. Sorry, the natives were getting restless and there was lots of screeching going on, so I'm gonna have to voice over the end. Anyway, the cover just slides neatly into here. I pop these bookmarks into the current week so I can flip to it quickly. And this is my life. Everything that I do is in this planner, and I love it. So far, so good. I don't know this is full planner piece, but it's close to it. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button. If you want to get notified when I post more, hit the subscribe button. In the meantime, thanks so much for watching, you guys, and have yourself a great day.